I feel for me that recreation is important as it provides a healthy and safe outlet for members of our community to get together and actively participate in leisure. I think that it has a very important role in our society, and I feel honored to work alongside some really amazing people who bring us together, especially during these trying times.
When asked the question, what does recreation mean to me, the first thing I thought of was it means a lot. I think it's a place and space where people can come together and participate in their favorite activities. And I think it's a place where we belong outside of our work and our home life. I've been really fortunate enough to participate in recreation for my whole life, and I think it's really allowed me to live a happy and healthy life.
I would say that recreation means belonging and participation in whatever form that might come in. It could come in partaking in a pottery class, or it could come in being part of a team sport such as a Friday night soccer league. It encompasses a wide range of activities and meanings to the individual person.
Recreation to me is something that has guided me my whole life, and I think it's so important for every individual to have a component of recreation in their life. Recreation can be anything from dance class to art class to sports to badminton to rugby, anything that you choose to do in your free time, whether it's by yourself or with a group of people, structured or unstructured. And I think that's such an important thing for everyone to have in their life so that they have the ability to have a clear mind, a healthy lifestyle, and even social networking, especially with COVID-19 and the pandemic. Recreation has become more important than ever.
To me, recreation, various activities that cater to youth depending on their interests, and they provide youth a break from social media as well as an opportunity to grow relationships with their peers and to create memories.
Recreation to me is a sense of belonging and inclusion in my community, having access to programming, sport, and hobbies that I love daily. I am very avid in sporting and fitness, and I love being a part of different volunteering opportunities. So recreation to me is having the opportunity and the access to do things that I love.
What recreation means to me is just anything that you participate in outside of your daily routine for fun. So it could be anything along the lines of physical activity, arts and crafts. It could be like computer or digital photography. It could be cooking. It could even be video games if that's what you're into.
So recreation means things you do for fun. So activities I like to do for fun would be walking on parks trails. I like playing guitar. I like visiting museums. It's what you choose to do in your spare time and what you find fun.
Recreation to me means having fun and living a quality of life. So that could mean doing activities that you enjoy, doing activities with loved ones that allows you to enjoy that activity, and simply having a sense of flow in your life where you can use recreation to enjoy life and have something to look forward to.
Recreation refers to the organized activities a person partakes in their free time that they find relaxing and or mentally, physically, and spiritually fulfilling. Recreation can take on many forms, such as art, sport, traveling, pursuing hobbies like chess, and a wide variety of other activities.
I'm currently using my degrees in the sport field, specifically in regard to coach education in Manitoba. I chose this field because I'm very passionate about sports. I grew up playing sports my entire life, and I believe that education is also a way to create equitable, sustainable change. Being able to work with provincial sport organizations as well as coaches across Manitoba has really allowed me to contribute to a positive sporting experience for athletes. And the more that we educate our coaches and ensure that they're trained, I believe that the sporting experience will be better overall.
When I graduate in April, I see myself in the sport and physical activity side of the field, as well as motivating others to be physically active and engaging a healthy lifestyle. I really have a big interest in recreation therapy and improving the quality of life of others and ensuring that everybody is their happiest selves. I really envision myself being avid in my community and incorporating new recreation programming and sport programming and outreach programs, whether it's locally here in my Taché or a position in Winnipeg. I really can't wait to be a role model and leader in the community.
I chose to get into the recreation sector because, one, I like planning, and two, I like being part of a sector that makes things happen. When I think of being a recreation professional with my degree in recreation management and community development, I think of myself as the person behind the scenes, the guy backstage, making the show happen. Well, what I do might not be totally visible to the public. Everything that I do in the background contributes towards the public having a much more enriched experience to life. I want to use it in whatever capacity might be required to make the things that people want to do more accessible, easier, and just there. I see a lot of accessibility issues. They can come in the form of socioeconomic barriers, and it can also just come in the fact that in a lot of areas there is not programming available. So in many areas you might be a after-school program for soccer, but what if you want to do pottery or coding? Those things still need a recreation programmer to bring forward those programs to the participants, but they're often overlooked for things that bring in either money or are tried and true.
If it weren't for recreation, I know that I would have ended up on a totally different life path, whether it be good or bad. I don't know, but I'm so fortunate that I've ended up on this one and that I'm able to make a career out of something I'm so passionate about.
I chose this field because I believe in the power that recreation has to change communities. I love going to work every day knowing that what I do impacts the wellness of my city, both mentally and physically.
I would like to utilize my degree in rec management and community development to make a difference within the city of Winnipeg and its diverse communities. Winnipeg is my home, and we have a great community here that empowers me to help make a change.
As a result of the current COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of us has learned that doing things remotely, we have the ability to communicate with people all over the world, not even just province to province, city to city, stuff like that, all over the world. We can have conferences with thousands of people where everyone's sitting in their own living room. One of the biggest groups of people that does not get enough recreation is the senior age group. Maybe they have physical stuff that hinders them from getting to like a recreation center to take their recreation program. We could learn to how to offer a lot of senior program remotely, and that would benefit their mental health and many more things. So I would like to see that change for sure.
This past year has been a learning experience for everyone in this field, but a lot of innovative ideas have come out of lockdown. In the city of Selkirk, we've held virtual quiz nights, and they've been extremely popular with residents, and I don't think that is something we would have held if not for the pandemic and quarantine. I'm optimistic about the future because I know rec professionals are adaptable.
People will realize how much they need to be active, how much they appreciate physical activity in their everyday lives, considering most of us are still working from home possibly, and so that is really important because I can say for myself that every day just getting away from my desk for half an hour is crucial, just to go for a walk, and that physical activity and that recreation and that physical connection and human connection as well is super important. And I think we didn't really realize this when COVID-19 first happened, so now that we're into it for a year now, and I'll be hanging around I'm sure for a couple of years to come, we realize how important recreation is and being physical and having physical activity every single day.
So many rec professionals have done such a fabulous job of adapting to COVID restrictions and have completely restructured their programs by moving many activities outside and online using Zoom and other internet platforms to offer rec programming to participants in the safety of their own homes. I think the demand and success of online rec programming will continue to expand and diversify as people have become accustomed to participating in rec this way, and because it is such an accessible way to access rec programming in our hustle culture, fast-paced world.
I think we're at a definite paradigm shift. We've seen it already as this pandemic has pushed people probably already 10 years ahead of where the recreation field would have been without this. We've shifted from a recreation sector that was based primarily on people being together and in person to a field where nearly everything is done through Zoom and virtual interactions. I believe that this is going to continue onwards as companies, municipalities, and not-for-profits have already adapted to this way and have already begun to reap some of the benefits of decentralizing recreation activities. Some of these are increased accessibility and decreased operating costs, and being able to make use of the variety and diversity of digital assets out there that fit their organization specifically, rather than having to rely on the same old handed-down program plan styles that are classical to the in-person recreation area.
Because of COVID-19, a lot of things, programs, events have ended up going virtual, and I think that this is how it's going to continue for the next little while. So we as recreation professionals need to be ready to provide everything that we have normally offered in a hybrid fashion, both virtual and online, and this also gives us the ability to reach people that we have never normally been able to reach, especially in rural communities. There's lots of areas that just don't have the means or the transportation to get to the programs and events that you offer. So this way you can still offer to everybody within your area. They can choose to participate virtually, in person, whatever they would choose.
When I think of the long-term effects of the global pandemic that we're going through right now, I definitely think that our virtual world will continue long after the pandemic is controlled or over. There are positives and negatives to this, as it really has allowed us to connect to recreation from our homes, but it also has taken away that relational aspect of participation. Yeah, I'm not sure what that might look like for years to come, but I do hope that someday when it's safe, that we can all get together in person and continue to build those meaningful relationships through recreation, sport, and leisure.
In the next 10 years, I think we will see a lot more animal-friendly recreation opportunities. With the growing trend of young couples not having or waiting to have children and adopting pets instead, I think in the future we'll see a lot more rec activities geared towards humans and their pets, such as dog-friendly pools and new and improved pet-friendly green spaces.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot more virtual reality come into play, and as well as a lot more implementation of virtual resources such as built web pages, and other web-based resources that would help people connect to a broader community and also access recreation and leisure services on their own schedule. A decentralized approach might be where I believe recreation is going to end up. There will, of course, be some explosions and growth in the sector as the pandemic recedes and people are able to travel again. But overall, virtual recreation, I believe, is here to stay.
I believe in 10 years, recreation activities will continue to evolve and adapt according to the youth, and they will work hard to attract youth to participate in the activities.
In the next 10 years, I don't really see recreation taking a big change in what recreation means. I just think that it's going to be more important along the lines of mental health. I think that people are going to realize that without recreation, mental health tends to struggle. So that's one aspect that I think is going to change.
I envision a continued effort to sustain our green spaces. So respecting our natural environments, and people are looking for a way to connect with nature. So I can see a lot of engaging experiential programming.
I really hope that the recreation field continues to go into the direction of providing access to all and being a place where belonging can occur. I would love to see it go into a direction where all services are equitable and inclusive for everyone.
There's a lot of room for opportunity, whether it's with parks and recreation, sport, after-school programming, outreach programs. There will be a lot more development and a lot more employment in this field as it is increasing in research and in appreciation, as well as knowing how important recreation is for our physical and mental health.
I envision a very prospering field and that reconnects us with outdoor rec specifically, with a focus on parks and trails. As we've all felt the very devastating effects of COVID-19 this year, a lot of us have reconnected with nature and have found a powerful outlet in spending time outside and staying connected with our friends and family in a safe and active way. I'm looking forward to the next 10 years and how we evolve as a community.
I really see great things happening for the recreation field in the next few years, and I think that this conference is a great starting point for everybody to make sure we're all on the same track, the same page, and networking is amazing, so take advantage of it. And I hope you all had a great time during the conference, and hopefully we can be in person again next year. Thanks.